All right, so let's just start up with this. So here's my YouTube. Here's my old stuff from like 2019, really old. I was going through kind of a JoJo phase, so I kept making JoJo's Bizarre Adventure memes and mashups and stuff, but I've evolved past that point now, and now I make cool stuff. So let's see where it all started. This is Sino Vibes, an original song. This is like crazy old. There we go. This is a classic. Sort of. So, Sino Vibes. This is a pretty alright song. For my first ever composition, surprisingly alright. This original song, first ever thing that I ever made. It's pretty alright, but it's very short, and I think it's also very repetitive, which is kind of an issue for me. The composition is really only like 25 seconds long and then it repeats. So I feel like looking back, could have been better. Here's my ranking. I think Sino Vibes might be a C tier song. I mean, it's pretty okay, but I don't know. I feel like the only reason that I remember it personally is because I wrote it, and I remember really loving it when I first wrote it, but nowadays it's like, I go back to it like once, twice a year. So I'm gonna put Sino Vibes down here in the C tier. Maybe it'll go up later, I don't know. But you know, it's very repetitive. It just kind of repeats this like over and over again. Something that belongs in the games. Yeah, really, the reason that I got into writing music was because I love the Diamond and Pearl soundtrack so much. And that was like a huge inspiration for me when I first started. So I really tried to capture the feel. So I do think it sounds like it belongs in the game, but if it was next to like all the other songs from the soundtrack, I don't really know how much it would stand out. So we got Emperor's Domain, an Evro original with this low quality picture of the Mega Man X starting level. I tried to go kind of like metal for this one. I used a harmonic minor scale. This one's kind of a classic, I'm not gonna lie. I remember being like I was like headbanging when I wrote this. So I like this part a lot. This is kind of like some Doom, like old 1999 or whatever, E1M1. This one is actually, it holds up well. Of course, the instruments are low quality because I was just doing a bunch of stuff with like old sound fonts back then. So I'm not grading these based off of the mixing or the quality of the samples and the instruments. I'm purely going in from like the composition, the melody, harmony, if there are any cool solos. Because otherwise, I mean, it would just be like the stuff with the best audio quality and like the cleanest mixing would be the best. So I'm not really going off of that. So this one, Emperor's Domain, I think I'm gonna put it in A tier for now at least, because this was like a really cool one, and I'm still like pretty proud of it. Really the only thing that holds it back is it's in this like old sound font. If you remixed it with like actual live instruments, like a metal band really played this, I think it would still sound really awesome. And then the next one is some beat I made with Mario World instruments. It's like kind of chill. Kind of interesting. It might be a little quiet. Yeah. I mean, it's like trying to be a trap beat, but it's not really a trap beat. I feel like it doesn't have the right pattern on the drums, and I barely even know anything about trap music at all. It's kind of cool. That's really it. I think it has like some weird choices for the instruments. Like I use the organ from the Wii Shop channel in part of this. It's not all Mario World. Yeah, this is like a weird one looking back. I don't really think it has much going for it nowadays. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Could have been a lot better. It could have been more interesting. But you know, I was still like a baby at this point. I barely knew anything about music. I didn't really know any music theory. The next one I made after that was Doing It All With Style, which is also like sort of a weird one. Let's listen to this. Hey, no ad this time. I had like a bongo going on this one, which was like sort of cool. I feel like the structure to this is like weird in some way, but I don't know how to describe it. I like the syncopation. Yeah, it's like kind of cool. It's kind of hip. in some ways, but I think it's also like really repetitive. Let me like skip ahead because there's like some interesting sections later on. It's not super repetitive like the rest of them. Like it's doing this, which is like sort of cool. And then there's this bass solo, which actually isn't really that cool at all. I just like put a bunch of 16th notes and I was like,
oh wow, that's like so cool. That's like so virtuosic, bro.
When I first wrote that as like a 15-year-old or whatever. So it's like, it's not that cool looking back. It kind of reminds me of like the Break the Targets theme from Smash Bros. Melee a little bit. Like, what was that? What the heck was that? Are you serious? I added the claps. I thought the claps was kind of a fun touch, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's still kind of fun. Is it better than Sinnoh Vibes? It's a lot longer than Sinnoh Vibes. I think I'd say it's better. It's more long, it's more interesting. Okay, this one's like actual, this one's not very good. A thing I made in LMMS after listening to a lot of jazz fusion. And it's not even jazz fusion at all. I just discovered like Cassiopeia, and I thought they were like the awesomest band ever. So I like almost tried to emulate them, but it didn't really work. So you'll see what I mean. Yeah, it's like, what even is this? And it just repeats that. The harmony does nothing besides that for this entire song. It's like, what even is this? The melody is like the most nothing melody of all time. Like, what is this? This part is like sort of okay. Yeah, it's like, It just feels really aimless. Doesn't really have a lot of structure to it. Kind of feels like I was just like messing around and clicking buttons, going in the D tier. It's kind of cringe. I mean, it could be worse, but it could be leagues better. This is like the lowest point though. From here, everything gets better. Trust me. The GBA Startup Sound song. This was like pretty interesting. It has some flaws, but considering that it's pretty limited what I was working with, I think it was good for the resources that I had at the time. Let's check this out. It's like sort of cool. The hi-hats are like kind of interesting, sort of. I think it's pretty interesting. Considering the fact that the GBA startup sound is literally like just a major chord, you can't really do a lot if you're just transposing that around. But I think that for what I had back then, it was pretty all right. I think if I knew some other like music production mojo, I could have made it a lot better, you know. This one's pretty cool. The graphics were made by Pokemon on Twitter. So, you know, shout outs to Pokemon for making this Game Boy edit. I think this one's pretty okay. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. Sinnoh Vibes 2, this one, it's also like really boring to be honest. Definitely doesn't live up to the original Sinnoh Vibes 1. You'll see what I mean. The Skipper Epic Cool meme. First ever use of Epic Cool, by the way. Yeah, it's like really slow. And I play, oh my gosh, like it's in such a low register, it's so muddy, you can't even like tell what I'm playing down there. And like the intro is really long. This isn't even like an intro, this is like literally half of the song is this. And then it skips to, I changed it to Ken, the leak of Thumbs Up Ken from Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's weird because it like kind of has like a groove to it, so it doesn't sound crazy sleepy, but like, at the same time it does. I'm gonna put it in D tier to be honest. I mean, maybe cringe isn't a great name for D tier. This is just like stuff that had a lot of missed potential. I think it probably could have been better if I just transposed everything up and it wasn't like the piano wasn't playing in such a low register, because that just like muddies the whole thing up. I would say that it's better than the LMMS after listening to a lot of jazz fusion song. The Mountainous Journey. This is a big step up. I used an odd time signature for this one. It's in 5/4. I think this one still kind of holds up. Yeah. So it's like already, it's like pretty cool. Just by nature of being in 5/4, I think it sounds like more hip. Yeah, for this one, I think I definitely had much more of a vision going into it of what I wanted to make, and so it came out a lot better. It really kind of, it takes you on a mountainous journey. It's climbing up, and it like keeps rising, and there's like counter melodies coming in, but then it like skips to this new part that's like so triumphant. Like the snare drums coming in, It's kind of like a march. So I think this really does take you on a journey. The way that it's structured, the way it kind of starts out kind of steady, goes into like a more perilous segment, and then it's like triumphant at the end. And just the fact that I was able to find a way to like make this 5/4 odd time signature work, even with my very limited understanding of music theory back then. This is A tier right here. This had vision, it had direction. So then we have the C. And like this one's pretty okay, but I do think it's a little generic. It's a little cliche. So let's check this one out. It's like not as muddy as the other songs, I feel. Like I didn't go crazy low with the melody or anything. Pretty nice. My only issue with it is that it just sounds a little bit too cliche. Like it doesn't sound crazy original. Feels almost a little stock. Put it in the B tier. Snowfall. This one's like also pretty okay. This picture is from the Pokemon anime. Also pretty alright. Definitely very video gamey, this one. Check this out. It's like kind of Paper Mario, I feel, if that makes sense. I did like some call and response stuff here. Bass comes in. They use like a synth bass, which is like sort of weird, but I think it sounds pretty nice. I wrote like a lot of little counter melodies in there, and I think that really kind of keeps it fresh. This one's better than I remembered, to be honest. This one's like really pleasant. I'm gonna make a new tier for this. This is A- tier. Wasn't that nice? Man. That was nice. That's like better than I remember it, to be honest. Theme songs for Cursed Images. These are all really short. This is Long-Nosed Fellow. This one's kind of cool. The drums are kind of cool on this one. It's like doing some interesting stuff. It's pretty okay. I'll put it in B tier. Oh yeah, we got Waltz for a Happy Couple. It's pretty all right. It's short, but I do think that it has direction at least. It's got vision. French. Yeah, it's French. Derogatory. Yeah, I'll put it in here. In B tier. This one. My lo-fi chill beats to call your friends to. This one's like pretty okay. I made a full version of this song, like an extended one, but I never uploaded it. And the computer, the hard drive that it was on, has died. So we'll never listen to the full version of this song, unfortunately. I use the Wii Shop Channel drums, Wii Shop Channel bass drum, and the little cross stick clave thing that you hear. That's Wii Shop Channel. This one's also pretty good. Really, my only issue with it is that I like doubled the chords in the octave, which makes it sound incredibly muddy, but it could be a lot worse. I remember really liking the full version of this song too, so it is kind of a shame that it's lost. I guess I'd call this one a B tier. I remember I called this one The Rain's Lullaby. It's kind of funny, I came up with this song because somebody sent me this picture of a guy on the metro using this phone, and he's like blinged up. Synth Brass City. Oh yeah, this is like the first song that I used where I had like some knowledge of music theory going in. So I was like doing somewhat interesting stuff with this. Based on gay manga. One of the top YouTube thumbnails of all time. Kind of cool. I used the Sonic 3 sound font when I made this. I think Sonic 3 sound font still holds up. This thumbnail is like so bad though. I mean, I traced over a stock image and I put it over another stock image, and both of them are like blurred and like pixelated. Oh my gosh. And there's this little dot over here that I forgot to erase. This is like a D tier thumbnail. But yeah, the rhythm is cool on this one. I like the drums that I made, or the drum pattern rather. This one's kind of cool. I mean, I still like this one kind of a bit. Like pretty all right. Yeah, so it's cool. One of the issues is that I tried to make it kind of sound like you have like a live band who's like improvising over the same chords and they all take turns. But the thing is, it's kind of hard to make it sound like that if I'm not playing the instruments and I'm just like clicking and dragging notes around LMMS. And I think some of these solos, they like sound kind of aimless sometimes. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like meandering all over the place. I put in the lick for no reason. The little keyboard solo is nice. I like the keyboard solo. Yeah, this part is good. I like this part. And then it's like, what even is this? Weird drum breakdown. And then it goes into a new solo. Let's see. This part that's coming up, I also like this one compared to some of the others. So pretty cool. Some hits, some misses in this song. I think it's better than the ones in B tier, so I'm gonna put it in A- tier. I was beginning to understand music theory when I wrote this. I skipped over Bright Shores. Bright Shores is actually really good. Yeah, this is a good one. I like this one. It's like kind of anime. But you know, I'm cool with a little anime from time to time. This is a good one. This is an A tier song. It's memorable. It's catchy. Really, the only thing that holds it back is the sound font. You know, not the highest quality. But you know, if I were to do like a remix of this nowadays, I think it would still be nice. The Finn theme song. Honestly, I don't think this one holds up quite as well. This is like the first song that I made on a Cubase with like a physical synthesizer in front of me. So I was still trying to learn how that works. And I don't know, I think it's like a little repetitive. It's a little boring. The start is really quiet because I didn't know how mastering worked. Skip forward. Again, it's like, feels a little aimless to me. This was the first time that I used the Roland TR-707 drum machine in any of my songs, which was kind of interesting because I use this a lot later on. But man, it's like, it feels sparse in the instrumentation. Melody isn't like that catchy, to be honest. It's got like more stuff, but it's really repetitive. So, And like, I wasn't really great with improvising solos. So like anything that I tried to improvise that sounded like stale, it didn't really sound hip enough. To be honest, it's D tier. I mean, I think there's a lot of missed potential there. Actually, no, I'd say it's in C tier. It's with these two others. Sorry, Finn. Chromodorus. First song that I ever named after a slug. This one, again, I was new to Cubase, so I was still finding my way around it. This one's like kind of synth wavy. This intro goes on for like 40 seconds. Why did I make the intro that long? And this part is like pretty all right. Cool little modulation there. This was like my first song that like traveled through different key centers. This weird little transition between parts. This piano solo could be better. Yamaha DX7 guitar preset. It's kind of cool, but I think it goes on way too long. The solos, not as good as they could be, because of course I wasn't as good of a musician back then. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. Sorry, Chromodorus. I really could have done that slug much more justice, but unfortunately I did not. And then a lot of mashups, not really anything original for a long time. And then boom, this is like the start of a new era. Island Night Excitement. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. This name, Island Night Excitement, it's not a good name for a song. Like, what is Island Night? What makes it exciting? It's like, I could have come up with a much better name. This, like, I literally came up with this name right before I uploaded it because it needed a name. Yeah. Oh man, and I got the high quality sample of that Fender Rhodes. I didn't waste a bunch of time in the intro. Absolute classic. Turn that up. And then the solos. Man, this is like, I came into my own with this song. This is like so good. Man, it's kind of Marvel versus Capcom. I guess it could be more interesting. The chord progression isn't long at all. It's like literally 4 chords, I think. But man, I really, really came into my own with this. The melody is so strong. The solos are fun for the like first time in an Evro song. This is an S tier song right here. I don't think it's S plus, because I think I could have gone even further beyond with this. But still, this is an S tier song. This is where I'm finally feeling, oh my gosh, this is like a huge step up. Let's see, a compilation of short songs that I've posted to Twitter. Funky little MS Paint alien theme song. The bass line is pretty cool. Interesting story about this song. So last year, I wanted to make an album which was like the soundtrack to a fighting game that doesn't exist. And it was going to have like character themes. It was going to have menu themes. This song was supposed to be like the ranked match lobby song, but that album never came to fruition. It became the soundtrack to an RPG that doesn't exist, because I thought that the songs just worked better as an RPG. And also, I didn't want to have to make theme songs for like every different character, because that would be kind of hard, I feel. This song, so I just posted it to Twitter instead of putting it in any album. And I think it's pretty good. It's like a little bit aimless in the solo, but the solo has more life to it because it's something that I actually played on a real keyboard instead of just clicking and dragging notes on a piano roll. So I think it's an A- tier. Seafaring Waltz. This is also a good one. It's fun. This is a good one. Easy breezy. It conjures up a very specific image in my mind of like a little party at night on the waves. This one's also like kind of a Paper Mario vibe to me. I like this one a lot. And if you recognize the melody, it's because this song was repurposed to become Skypiercer Wings Over Heaven. This is also another one from the scrapped soundtrack to a fighting game that doesn't exist. This would play in like the tutorial. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Not quite S tier. So the Jester Clyde theme song, you know, it starts with this slow whatever and the low strings. I think really my only issue with this intro is like the snare drum sounds a little canned, if that makes sense. Like it feels a little generic. I think I could have done more interesting stuff with this like snare roll that's going on. Synthesizer, boom. This is like the meat and potatoes of the song. This is the main course. Tried to go kind of like Doom. It's very metal. I think it's super cool. This is like one of my most violent songs that I've ever composed. I think this riff that I came up with on the synth is really cool. This is a real headbanger. I mean, yeah. I really popped off when I made this. This had so much vision. This is an S tier song. The first EP, huge moment for me. Brief Stay in Paradise. Published this before going to the dentist. This was so huge. Here it is. Welcome to Paradise. What a song. The intro, I think the intro is really great with the fanfare, synthesized fanfare. I used the Sonic 3 drums for this. Fun little solo on the vibraphone. I think this song really, you know, it captures that feeling. You just drove up to your vacation destination. It's been a long car ride, but you're finally there. You're at like the hotel or whatever. You're ready to kick back, relax, have fun, enjoy your brief stay in paradise. This is a good one. I think this is A tier. I'm going to put it at like the top of A tier. I don't think it's quite as good as the others in S tier, but I think it's really good. Maybe I'll make like an A+ tier for this song. You got Morning Coffee. This was originally going to be like a little throwaway song for my Twitter. It was going to be like, oh haha, I composed another song that kind of sounds like Animal Crossing, right? But as I was writing it, I was thinking, oh, yeah, this is like, it could fit into that little EP I'm putting together. Little lead synthesizer sound. I think it's funny. I think it's fun. Chord progression is nice. It kind of flows through different key signatures and stuff. And then the piano solo is nice. Again, I think this song really captures that specific feeling. You wake up the day after you get to your vacation spot. You're making the coffee. You're thinking of all the fun things you're gonna do. It's just great. This is an A tier song. Maybe not quite as good as the S tier ones, but it has that distinct personality. It has that distinct feel to it. Definitely a great song. Boardwalkin'. This one kind of has a story behind it. I thought of the name Boardwalkin' for a song before I actually wrote it. I was like, oh yeah, that would be like such a great name for a song, such a great feeling to capture. So I try and capture it. Like I wrote a song, it didn't really feel like I was walking on the boardwalk. So I scrapped it. And I tried again, did like a more funky thing. I scrapped that one too. It didn't really feel like it. And then I composed this and I was like, yes, this is boardwalking. I think the melody is really strong. It has a fun little solo. Oh yeah, the B section is nice too. I mean, just a fantastic song. to be honest. I mean, I had a ton of fun writing this. I still think it holds up really well. This is an S tier song. Seriously, it captures the feel. Secret Cove, though. This one's so smooth. Yeah. Again, I'm using the 707 drum machine a ton throughout this EP. It's just so smooth. The solo is so smooth. And it's not like those solos that I wrote back when I was doing like LMMS and I had like Diamond and Pearl sound font. I wasn't just throwing 16th notes all over the place. Like this solo is more laid back. It's more reserved. It's more chilled out. And it feels more human and natural that way. Let's see. So that part right there, where you can hear the note bending upwards, that part literally only exists because my keyboard, it goes up to a C, but I had to hit the note D. So I took the pitch bender wheel and I was like, okay, here we go. It's now or never. So I used the pitch bender wheel to hit that D instead. And I think that adds just a ton of character to it. This is an S tier song right here. I mean, dang, that's so smooth. But this one, now this is one of my favorites of all time, Running on the Sunset right here. So simple, but so effective. Oh my gosh, I love this song. Yeah. This song, I had so much fun writing this. The solos are so simple, but again, they're so effective and they're so catchy and they have such strong melodies. The B section is like literally the greatest thing that I've ever written. The melody is so catchy. I played this for my little brother once on his first time listening to it. It's like after it repeated for the first bar, he was like immediately singing along. Played it for my mom completely independently of that. She did the same thing. Played it for my older brother. He did the same thing. Such a catchy melody. Oh my gosh. I'm really gushing over my own stuff. Hopefully I don't look like a total narcissist right now. Oh my gosh, it's like so fun. It's so fun. This is S+ tier. I'm still trying to capture this. I'm chasing this high for the rest of my life. Drifting Off, again, very nice. This was also supposed to be just a throwaway song to put on my Twitter. It was just something I thought of that day. I wrote this in like maybe under 45 minutes. But I was thinking, yeah, actually this could be nice to put on the EP. Kind of reminds me of like Little Big Planet in a way. I'm not really sure why. I think this is also a good song. Maybe not quite as good as some of the others on the EP because it is very short. It's a little bit repetitive, but still, this is an easy A tier right here. I think it's maybe a little bit better than Morning Coffee, to be honest, so I'll put it there. One Last Adventure. Again, I think this really captures the feeling really well. It's your final day on vacation. You have a good half a day before you're packing up and heading out. So you're like, okay, let's do one last adventure. Let's run along the coastline one last time and enjoy this and look at the dolphins one last time or whatever. This is a nice one. Really, my only gripe with this song is that none of the little sections that I wrote ever repeat. So it feels kind of weird. A section, B section, C section, none of those ever repeat, which is really weird looking back. But I do think that this is a very nice song. So I'm going to put this in A tier as well. Do I like it more than Drifting Off? I think I like it a little bit more than Drifting Off. Packing Up. Again, I think this song, it captures a certain feeling of, you know, well, this is it. Time to pack up and head back home. And I wrote this in like under 10 minutes. I was thinking, oh, I need like something to put at the end of One Last Adventure that kind of adds a sense of closure. So I kind of wrote this little thing, supposed to sound like a little fingerstyle guitar on a synthesizer. I think I'll put it in A tier, or A- tier rather, because I think it's nice, but maybe not quite up into the echelon of A tier. I might change that, who knows. Now let's look at the song that I wrote for my dad. I wrote this for his birthday. I wanted to emulate the sound of the band, the Go Team, because he likes that band a lot. Specifically, I tried to like capture the sound of their song Mayday. Tried to make it sound like kind of like indie rock sort of a thing. It's like pretty nice. Drums are fun. I mean, it's a really short song, but I like it a lot. It has so much meaning to it. One of the only major gripes that I have with this song is the little like beeping sound, little like Morse code beep that goes on through the song. Sometimes it clashes with the notes that are in the main melody. I'm gonna put this in A- tier for now. Maybe it'll move up later. This is huge. Soundtrack to an RPG that doesn't exist. This was like such a labor of love for me. First full-length album, which was huge. Kind of tells a story, but not really. All right, so the main theme. An RPG that doesn't exist. I mean, it feels like a JRPG, you know? This is a good song. It does exactly what it needs to do. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Ooh. I think it's a bit better than Drifting Off, but maybe not to the level of One Last Adventure and Welcome to Paradise. Poor Flabellina, this is like incredible. I named this song after another species of sea slug. That's how you know I really like it. I mean, what a vibe. And this part where it modulates from, I think I wrote this in G major, and then it modulates to G flat major. It's like, what? Where did that come from? My tritone substitution. Oh, man. Little Rhodes solo. Very mellow, very nice. I mean, this song has like the exact feeling that I wanted to capture when I went into this. This is an S tier song, and this is like at the top of S tier. I mean, I love this song. I really had a ton of fun writing it. All right, and then you got Breezy. I'd imagine if the RPG that didn't exist was actually real and actually existing, I feel like people wouldn't like the best friend character, but the theme song is pretty nice. Fun solos. I think the drums are really nice. This is one of the only songs where I really bothered putting in drum fills, so I think that makes it feel a bit more natural. One of my only problems with this song is that the bass drum, I put like this distortion on the drums, just a slight amount, but I changed the tone in such a way that it completely killed all the bass. So really the bass drum is more of a suggestion in this one, but we're not ranking these based off of the mixing or any of that. It's purely based off of the melody and the harmony and solos, and I think in this case it's very good. This is an S tier song. This is an S tier song. Yeah, right under Port Flabellina. I think it's in a good space there. A Moment's Rest, the shop theme. It's definitely a shop theme. So I think this is nice. I think the solos could have been a little bit better, and the melody could have been a little bit better, to be honest. But still, I think it's a nice song. It accomplishes what I set out to accomplish. I think I'm actually going to put this in the A- tier, because I could have maybe come up with some better solos to put over the chord progression, but I think it's nice. White Lily. This one's classy. If she's your girl, why does her leitmotif play during my battle theme? I really love when I did that. It's like a chordal voicing that leads into this drums. I mean, this song is class personified in this song right here. Nice solos. I really love the bass solo because it's basically just like playing the main melody, but it sounds so good in that register. Oh, yeah. That is tasty. This is an S tier song. Considering the fact that it's all MIDI and I don't have like real people actually playing the instruments, I think it sounds really good for what it is. We had The Weight of Prophecy. I was like in flow state when I wrote this song. I wrote this in like 40 minutes or less. And I was like piling on all these feels. Captures like the exact feeling that I wanted to capture. and those low strings come in. Like, whoa, giving me goosebumps right here. Like, what is this? What is this? And it's this part. So yeah, this is a really good song. I don't know if it's even physically possible to play this song on a brass section like the way that I wrote it, because they sustain that note for so long. I don't know how good the air efficiency is on a brass instrument. I think this is like maybe the bottom of S tier. A Fierce Foe, the normal battle theme. I really tried to emulate the sound of this one album, Fly with the Wind by McCoy Tyner. Some pretty cool solos, pretty cool. The vibraphone solo that just devolves into utter chaos right here. And it's like, you know, okay, hold on team, we gotta collect our thoughts. Let's get through this. It's a good song. Maybe not quite as good as some of the other ones that I've written. I'm gonna put it above Emperor's Domain, below Morning Coffee. Dangerous Adversary, the boss battle theme. I've heard, my brother said that this doesn't really sound like a boss battle theme. I guess maybe if you put it in an actual video game, it wouldn't really loop very well, but I think it's very good. If you had to get like actual people to play this song, I think it would take like 3 percussionists to play the percussion part, because there's a lot going on in there. The boss is more classy than outright intimidating. Yeah, I guess. When I wrote this song, I thought of it more like, it's almost like a rival battle. Both of the contenders, they're both feeling pretty confident in themselves, but it's a duel to the death. Especially with this part, that's like more delicate, but it's very dramatic. This part is really good. I actually like this more than a normal battle song. I'm gonna put it a little bit above The Weight of Prophecy. I was really kind of in the flow state when I wrote this one too. All right, so Slumbering, Game Over theme. Oddly enough, I wrote a Game Over theme, but I didn't write a Level Up theme, which looking back, I still sort of regret. But this is very nice. I think it would have worked a little bit better if I remixed the main theme to the soundtrack to the RPG that doesn't exist. I think that would just make a little bit more sense, or if I remix a song that already existed somewhere. But I think this works very well for what it is, and I think it was a nice little song I came up with. And I'm gonna put it in A- tier, right above A Moment's Rest. I don't think it's quite A tier. Swinging Under Blue Skies, I like this one a lot. Accordion player was having the time of his life when he did this. Yeah. It really is swinging. This is an S tier song. I'm putting it above Breezy. Underneath Port Flabolino though. The task at hand though, I'm super proud of this. This is in 7/8 time, but I think I made it groove so well. I think it just works, you know? And it's chilled out. And it really does feel like you're thinking through the decisions. It feels inquisitive. It feels a little bit stressed, but not quite. This bass solo, I'm hugely proud of this bass solo. So, you know, this song, it takes you on a journey, which I think is really, really good. And I think I set out to do exactly what I wanted to do. So I'm going to put it underneath Breezy, in front of White Lily. I don't even really know why I called the song White Lily. I thought it would work. The Crank, the Smart Characters theme song. Everybody would hate the Smart Character if this game was real. I really tried to like channel my inner Herbie Hancock for this one. Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters. I think this part was really creative because I kept coming up with like different chords that worked under that same bass line. So yeah, I like Crank a lot. I would also put this one in S tier. I think I'd put it underneath Jester Clyde's theme. I'm gonna put it in front of The Weight of Prophecy, actually. Funky Metro. Again, like, this is a good song, but I don't know how well it works in this soundtrack. Like, up until maybe Crank, it kind of sounded like this RPG that doesn't exist is kind of like in a medieval fantasy setting. And then I just come along with this, which is like Street Fighter 3 Third Strike inspired. Like, you know, kind of like hip hop almost, but not quite. I like the bass that I made on this song. It's pretty nice. This was also supposed to be a throwaway song for my Twitter. I was just gonna be like, oh, hey, look, I made a song that's kind of like Third Strike. But then I was like, writing it, I was thinking, you know, I think this is good enough and long enough to put on the full soundtrack to the RPG. I like this one a lot. It's really catchy. I think it's really cool and it has like a nice energy to it. I'm gonna put it underneath A Fierce Foe down in A tier. Then the Sacred Glade. Yeah, I like this one a lot too. I like the fact that I was able to like find a use for the Ocarina of Time sound font in this one. I have like the Gregorian chant, like the monks singing. That's from the Ocarina of Time sound font. This is S tier stuff. I'm gonna put it maybe underneath Island Night Excitement, above Jester Clyde's theme. Ancient Peaks. This one actually has a ton of meaning behind it, behind like all the instrumentation. It's really supposed to like represent every part of the mountain. Like you got the base is your solid rock foundation. You've got like the woodwinds that come in with the trill. That's like the air whooshing by and the snow coming down. You've got like the little spikes of dissonance kind of towards the end. That's like the rocky crags of the mountain, but it all resolves into one solid core, strong mountain. So I'm gonna put this underneath Sacred Glade, but still up there in the S tier, beyond the secret mountain stream. And unfortunately, I made a typo in this YouTube upload. Instead of ethereal, it says etheral, which I didn't catch until it was too late. Kind of like Super Nintendo music. It's like some Chrono Trigger stuff. This song was actually one of the first tracks that I made for the soundtrack to the RPG that doesn't exist. I made this like right after I composed a theme song to it. I think I'm gonna put this in A tier because it's pretty nice. It's a little bit repetitive. Maybe I could have done more with it. I'm gonna put it underneath Funky Metro. Event Horizon. Another song in 7/8 that I'm very proud of. The synth that comes in, I'm very proud of this synth that I programmed. I mean, this is like violent right here. I think I did some really great stuff with the song, both in terms of what I composed and in terms of like the synthesizers that I made. So this is an S tier song, right above Sacred Glade. I don't know if I like it more than Island Night Excitement. Then you have Wilted Wishes. This is an S tier song as well. I don't think it's quite as good as Event Horizon, but I think it's better than Sacred Glade. And then you got The Final Stand, the only rock song on this album. Again, the White Lily motif is coming back. I put in the normal battle theme because I kind of wanted to make it seem like, you know, you're so strong now. This final boss, Ancient Evil, is nothing more than just a normal enemy at this point. Like all the other ones you've taken down. Could be a credits theme. It could be a credits theme, to be honest. It could. I'm going to put it right with Wilted Wishes. I'm going to put it a little bit ahead of Wilted Wishes, up in the S tier. And then the ending theme, Been Through a Lot. Another song that I composed really quick because I felt like I needed one last thing to tie it together. Thank You for Playing. I thought that was just a really nice touch that I put in there. I'd say this is an A tier song. I'd put it underneath RPG That Doesn't Exist main theme, Delicious Jams, with Return to Paradise. I loved Running on the Sunset so much that I decided to remix it and make Return to Paradise and make like a more acoustic one. I really love Return to Paradise as well. Just a more chill, laid back version. Yeah. Woohoo! I love this song so much. I love Return to Paradise. This is going right up in S+ tier along with Running on the Sunset. Digital Ninja, the Fortnite song. This is another scrapped song from the soundtrack to like a fighting game that doesn't exist. I actually messed up earlier when I said the little MS Paint Alien song was like for the rank battle. That was supposed to be like casual battle, matchmaking. This is the ranked battle one. So, you know, it's a fun song. I would put it in A- tier. I'm going to put it below the little song that I wrote for my dad. Night Patrol. This is another song from the Scrap Fighting Game album. I'm also going to put this one in the A- tier. I'm going to put it, I'll put it below Digital Ninja. Moon Man. I love Moon Man. 7/8 time signature, but I think I made it groove really well. I put like so many like tracks into this, so many instrument tracks. So this is another scrapped song from the Scrapped Fighting Game album. This song actually corresponded to the little alien, the MS Paint alien from that other song. This was supposed to be like his theme song. He would be like a zoner He could throw random metal objects at you with like magnetic powers or whatever. Just a super cool song overall. I think I was in the zone when I made this. This is an S tier song. I'm gonna put it below Port Flavelina, above Swingin' Under Blue Skies. Sparkling Winterscape, also very good. I think it's a little bit derivative of Running on the Sunset. Also, shout out to Spider Mike for the awesome art. Very nice. Really kind of captured that feeling of winter, or like on the slopes, on the ski slopes with your friends. So I think this is another S tier song. I'm gonna put it above Breezy, below Swingin' Under Blue Skies, because I do think Swingin' Under Blue Skies has a little bit more personality to it, if that makes sense. Delicious Jams Volume 2. So Last Day of Summer Vacation. You know, fun solo on the guitar. I think it really does capture that nice tropical feel that I love so much. I would put this up in an S tier, below Wilted Wishes, above Sacred Glade. Nature. This is also a nice one. A lot more like hip hop. This is like what you would hear in like an anime edit on TikTok, Naruto edit or whatever. Maybe in the A tier. I'd put it above Fierce Foe, below The Weight of Prophecy. The Fighting Freak. I named it that because when I was first writing this, it sounded kind of like something that would play in one of Knuckles' levels in Sonic Adventure 2. So this is also pretty cool. It's a little bit repetitive. I think some parts could have sounded better. I'm going to put it still in A tier, just above Emperor's Domain. So then we got Zelda Goes to Brazil. It's a pretty silly name. Remix of Zelda's Lullaby. And I am counting this as an original song because it's so different from the classic Zelda's Lullaby, and it's really more of a Zelda medley. So I am counting this as an original track. You got like the opening to Ocarina of Time, Song of Storms, Song of Time, Zelda main theme on the piano. This part at the end with the Ocarina of Time, Ocarina from the sound font. I'd put it above Beyond the Secret Mountain Stream, below Funky Metro. Slugtown Public Radio. So then you got title track right here. Yeah, I think I would put it in the S tier. I put it above The Final Stand. So then we have Moving In. This is like the cutscene when you move in for the first time in this game after you make your profile. So, you know, very nice. It really does feel like you moved in. I'm going to put it in A tier. This is like top of A tier. So we have Afternoon Lazing. This is probably the most Animal Crossing-esque song from this EP, if that makes sense. Again, maybe not quite S tier. I do think it's better than Moving In, so I'll put it above Moving In. Trendy Store, though, is good. This is like No Thoughts, Head Empty. First song that I composed for the Slugtown Public Radio EP. It was originally just like a little throwaway song that I posted to Twitter. Wrote this in under an hour. This is an S tier song. Don't think I would quite put it above White Lily or Island Night Excitement, but I do think I put it above Event Horizon. All right, so we're off to Cliffside Sunset now, and I really love this one. Brings back the Slugtown Public Radio motif on the bells. For whatever reason, I feel like this song would like feel really at home playing on the 3DS, if that makes sense. This is an S tier song. I'm gonna put it above Sparkling Winterscape. Then we have Coffee House Trio. This is a great song. This is like everything that I wanted to do with A Moment's Rest, but I think it's just like more polished. It sounds better. It sounds more like a real acoustic jazz recording. I think it's just like a better version of A Moment's Rest, if that makes sense. So this is definitely, like, this is an S tier song. Not above Moon Man, but I think I might put it above Swingin' Under Blue Skies. Autumn Hues, another song written in 5/4. It's called, you know, Blip Bloop on the 808 drum machine. Again, I really think I did a good job of capturing a specific feel with this song. I remember one time I was playing it on my phone without like telling my brother the name of it or anything. My brother and I were on a walk, so I played this just to have some background noise, and he said, "Oh, hey, I really like this song. It feels like I'm strolling through town in the fall." And I was like, exactly, that's exactly the feel I was going for with this. So I think I really did capture this autumn feeling quite well. Pretty nice. I'm gonna put it below Funky Metro. Yeah, I think it's below Funky Metro, above Zelda Goes to Brazil. So it's in the A tier, kind of in the middle. Still, really good stuff. And then we have Snowy Stroll. I love Snowy Stroll. I was in the mood to make a nice Christmassy, wintry song, even if I wrote this in the middle of August. But I think I really succeeded. It really does feel like a snowy stroll. And then I really love this part when the trumpet comes in. Like, it really just does feel Nintendo-y, this song, which is exactly what I was going for. You know, this is on your Nintendo Winter/Christmas music playlist 2020. Ad-free. So just a great song overall. I'm super proud of Snowy Stroll. This is another S tier song right here. Honestly, I think it's better than Moon Man and better than Coffee House Trio. Not quite up to the level of Port Flavolina yet, but still very, very nice. Final song from Slugtown Public Radio, Midnight Wandering. I do think it sounds a lot like an Animal Crossing song, so I think I did a good job of capturing the feeling. Capturing that feeling of walking around at midnight, all your villagers are asleep, you're catching like some of the rare bugs or something before you go to bed yourself in real life. I think I would put it above Afternoon Lazing, below One Last Adventure. Sky Piercer. This song, this is another one from the scrapped fighting game album that never came to fruition. This would be like one that plays on, like, if you know, like May from Guilty Gear, the series. This song is basically supposed to emulate her feel. So this is for like the very annoying anime girl character who's just running all over the screen doing Rushdown and whatever. And I gave it this overly complicated name to like kind of poke fun at other anime games. And I composed this back in October of 2021. Never really found an opportunity to post it because I thought it would be part of an album. The album got scrapped. I didn't include it in any delicious jams. So then I made a little edit for it with Clavin, the funny cat. And now we're here. Shout outs to Sydney McDonald for commenting all of the translations, the true translations of the Japanese. This is an S tier song right here. Not quite Port Flavolina level, but I think it's right under it. Takes you on a whole journey. Twitter songs. I challenged myself to make a song in under an hour. Didn't look at the clock though, so I don't know how long it took. This one's pretty short, but I like it a lot. Anyways, this song is like pretty okay. I think looking back, it's not like as good as it could be. I'd call this like an A- tier. I would put it above Snowfall, but I don't think I put it above Packing Up. And on my computer, this file was called Mountaintop, so I'll just call it Mountaintop. My iwi song, the iwi is the electronic wind instrument. It's this great little synthesizer that you can blow into and play like a saxophone. And this song, I think this is really good. This is like what would play in some kind of American indie game that's mostly a text-based adventure. It has a lineless art style. All of the characters are like neon colors, like green and like blue instead of like actual skin tones. It's about finding yourself. It's about friendship. This plays when they're all in their car and they're in like Seattle and they're driving up the coastline. It's quirky, it's wacky. I think that this song has a ton of character and a ton of personality, and I think that really does come from the iwi. This is an S tier song. I wish it was longer, because it could have been so much cooler if it was longer. I'm going to call this the iwi song. I think I would put it underneath Cliffside Sunset, above Sparkling Winterscape. I'll just call it the iwi song. This is classic. This is the start of an era. This is the start of the Clavin era. I made this song. It was going to be on Brief Stay in Paradise, but I thought it was too similar to Morning Coffee. So I just posted to Twitter with this funny little cat. You could see it's like the beta version of Clavin. He's got taller, pointier ears. Mouth is smaller, eyes are smaller. He doesn't have a neck for some reason. So you can see how it kind of transformed into our little handsome fellow down here, the Clavin that we know and love today. This is a fun little song. I think just for the laughs, I'm going to put this in S+ tier because it led to so much with the Clavin character. I mean, without this dude, without this little song, Slugtown Public Radio would have no mascot. I would have no little GIF on the stream. I would have no funny little mascot. So I think that this really led to some great stuff, and the legacy is just continuing. Anyways, we have some songs that I wrote for random people's OCs on Twitter back in June. So this is the Alien Scourge theme song, and I think it's pretty all right. It's mainly just kind of a heavier version of Event Horizon with a little solo in the middle. It's pretty cool. I think there was a little bit of missed potential though. I think the drums were a little bit too distorted. They could have used some more reverb or something. Yeah, I think this is going to be like A- tier, probably. I think I'd put it above Snowfall, below Mountaintop. Our Rakemi theme song, another one of these ones. I did 3 of these in total. This is the second. It's like a little bossa nova thing. And as it turns out, this song, the creator of this character found that it fit the character very well and fit her backstory and all that, which I am very, very proud of. It's like my psychic genius levels went through the roof when I composed this. It's in the A tier. I think it's bottom of A tier. It's similar to Coffee House Trio in that it's basically just a better version of A Moment's Rest. The Norman theme song. With this one, I actually knew some bit about the character because I am following the artist who came up with this character. Very good song. I'm very proud of myself for composing that, especially because it's like very unlike some of my other songs. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of S tier. I think I had vision going into it. I had direction, because when there is no vision, the people perish. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I challenged myself to write this in under an hour. It took about 2 hours though. But I do think it sounds nice. It's kind of like a modern Sonic song in a way. Like I could see this playing in maybe Sonic Unleashed. Opens with that Rhodes. So yeah, nice song here. I think it's kind of like Cliffside Sunset in that I really love the feel that I put together with instruments. This is another S tier song. I like it a lot. I think I'd put it above the Norman theme song, but below The Weight of Prophecy. I'm just gonna call it Sonic type beat. I attempted to make something similar to the breakcore thing that you kids are into nowadays. I made something kind of similar to breakcore, but not really. Put it maybe like below Snowfall, above Synth Brass City. And then I think I'll actually move the MS Paint Alien song above this. But anyways, that is all. That is everything. That's the entire tier list right there. That's our show. Thanks for watching. This was brought to you by Slugtown Public Radio and viewers like you. Thank you. Do you have a favorite Evro song of all time? I mean, I know there's a ton here that we just went through, but I don't know. Would you say that there's a favorite?